Start at the beginning again? Okay. Welcome to another session of the 69 Camaro rebuild. This week we are up to painting the body components. Now one thing we want to do before we reinstall all of these parts on the car is to get all of those hidden spots, the ones that we won't be able to paint once the car is reassembled. What that means is inside of the fender walls, this part will go up against the wheel jam. We'll get a nice clean color contrast between the black wheel well and the fender. We want to get in here so when the door opens up you see the symmetry of the color outside and the color on the inside. Obviously do the entire inside of the hood, the door jams, so we'll paint all of the door jams this way. Once the door panel goes back on, you see the color of the outside also running through on the inside. And we're going to do all the components, so all the hinges, the hood latches, all the pieces that it'll just be better if we do it now, and then when we reinsert the new bolts, you'll get a nice clean original look. For the hood, obviously we want to get inside over here, all these pieces of metal that you're not going to see, but also where the latches go. In the center, obviously there's a heat pad that covers most of this. We're not really going to waste too much paint in that effort. On the center, it is exposed to a lot of heat, never really gets seen, and there will be a nice hood pad over here. So next job is a lot of scuffing and a lot of sanding. We want to make sure that the inside is well prepped. Best way to do that is with a 3M scuff pad, and essentially what we want to do is give it a nice scuff so the primer that we put down gets a good adhesion surface on there. Then we're going to clean that off. We hit it with some solvent cleaner, make sure it's clean, dust free, hit it with a tack rag, and then that'll be ready for paint. So all the panels have now been prepped and taped off. So you see all the areas that will get sprayed. These are all the areas that will be hidden. So you're not going to see these parts until you either open up the hood or you open up the doors. And there you have it, folks. The finished piece. 2 layers of base coat, 1 layer of clear coat. And that is how you spray candy apple red. So these are all the pieces that are not going to be seen on the outside of the car. Like I said, this is a 2-stage paint, so that means that it was just the base layer with a clear coat on top. The outside is going to be a little more complicated. That will be a 3-stage paint. That'll be a base coat, a top coat on that, and then finally a clear coat to bring out the candy. The other door. Well, look at that. That is just a fine, fine candy red. Our friends at Peninsula Collision have really outdone themselves, and this is only the inside. The outer is where all the fine detail is going to be. This is the inside of the hood. There will be a insulating pad that goes here, so this will not be seen, but once again we wanted to make sure that every square inch was done. And then lastly, all the hinges, all the brackets, things to put these components back on, sprayed and color correct. Before we put the trunk lid and hood and all those pieces back on, we're going to make sure that these places on the car body that we don't see are also painted. So this section all over here, all back here, all these pieces that are going to be under the trunk lid, those will get painted. And lastly, same thing over here. All the door jams, the rocker panel, the hinge plate, everything will be painted in the color correct candy red, and then the components will be reinstalled. And the door jams painted as well, clear coated, ready to go. So Next, the doors will get aligned, be installed onto the hinge plate, and then the fenders go back on. And last but not least, the components are going back on. Trunk lid, you see what we meant. The spots that'll be hidden, those needs to get sprayed as well. There will be a soft seal grommet going around this, so there's a nice watertight seal to the trunk lid. Put the lock back in, and I'll go in over there. So once the trunk lid closes, everything is painted on the inside as well.